The information provided in this episode is not intended to be medical advice. Please contact your medical professional immediately if you have concerns and questions in regards to the health and wellness of your ostomy or overall health.
Hello, welcome everyone. We're back again with another episode of Me Plus Talk. Not only that, we're here at the video edition. You got myself, Matt. I'm a product specialist, and as always, we've got lovely Rene.
And I'm one of the wound ostomy nurses here at Convatec. Welcome.
So we're really excited to be here again today. Obviously, this episode is going to be all about products. So I was wanting to just dive right in and get into a little bit of the basics about the difference between the ostomy products and things that you might run into being new to the ostomy product world.
And even if you've had an ostomy for a while, there are different options out there that you may not be aware of. So today, as we go through our different options that we have available, hopefully some questions will be answered and you might find something different that might work better for you.
Totally agree. So once again, extremely excited. I think products is probably the thing that I wanted to talk about the most when we started this podcast adventure. So here we are. And not only that, once again, we get to do it video style. So just kind of starting off with some of the basics, let's talk a little bit about, what is a pouch and what is the function of a pouch? And I think the most important thing to start off with is just by saying, obviously it's there to collect any of your urine or fecal matter, and then you're able to dispose of it through the spout on the pouch itself.
Absolutely. And it is the most recognizable part of your ostomy system. So it's something that if your shirt gets pulled up or it's time to change, and that's the part that someone else is going to see. And you can just say, this is my pouch. This is how I collect my discharge, and move on.
Yeah. So some of the things that you'll hear people call a pouch is bag. Another one that you'll hear sometimes is just lost my train of thought. Right. What are some of the things that you run across, Rene, that you hear? It's generally bag.
Bag is the most common. I have to agree. We tend to call it a pouch, and some people call it a pooch. And that may be just a lingual thing.
Yeah.
So you just never know. But there's just, the thing is, the options that are available with all of these, not even just the terminology, the options are as wide as the terminology is, for sure.
Right. So starting off, going into a little bit more detail about the different types of pouches that are available, obviously we have your ostomy pouches. Those have a little bit different closure. They have a valve. Convatec specifically has a valve at the bottom of it. And it's kind of funny. We've always had a saying on the Me Plus team that we share with our customers. Whenever you see a little red dot on that valve, that means that the pouch is actually open and is draining. So the saying I've always said was, if red dots showing, urine's flowing. So it's a little kind of quick reminder and things like that that'll help you know that, hey, my pouch is open and I need to close it. And then also we have the bendable tap, one that you can actually just bend over, and it's got a little plug at the bottom of it. And it's a little bit different. Obviously, the valve's a little bit more popular, but you have that variation. You have different things available for whatever suits your needs.
Yep. And, as it folds over, it locks in place so that it is right there and secure, just as secure as the AccuSeal tap valve that you were referring to with that red dot on it. So, so they find those both very comfortable to use. And again, it's just a lifestyle choice is all it is. Now, with stool, there are options as well. You have actually several with stool. Right. We've got our most popular, I think, are the ones that roll up and snap together. We call ours the Invisi-Close, because it goes invisible when you close it up. They even have little pockets that fold over the bottom of the pouch, so it just makes it more comfortable and secure. There's ones that have closed-ended, so that there's, you just take them off and throw them away. There's also ones that are drainable that have a clip at the bottom. They're kind of like the original pouches that most ostomy companies came out with years and years and years ago. And I spoke with someone today who said they won't use anything else but the clip. I mean, that's how they feel secure. And what's really cool that Convatec has now, we actually have a pouch that you could either wear a clip on it or you can roll it up and snap it together. So we have best of both worlds.
Exactly. Fit that lifestyle or whatever your need is.
Yep.
Probably my favorite, closure is probably the InvisiClose. I know that you said it has that locket pocket that makes it ultra secure, but really probably the biggest thing for me is just the security flap. It's that extra little flap that goes over once you roll it up, just to make sure it's extra secure, and nothing's going to open up on you whenever you don't expect it to. So, I would say that's probably the most popular for me, and it's definitely something I recommend to everybody. And then going from there, I love that you mentioned closed-ended pouches. I think that's probably the most common pouch people never hear about. It's something that whenever I mention it to someone, they're like, I didn't even know this exists, that you could just throw it away and get a brand new one. But
And
go ahead.
And yeah, thanks. The reason that you don't hear a lot about it is because it's specific.
Right.
It's specific for persons who have a formed, semi-formed stool that they're kind of on a schedule, so they're using like 1 or 2 a day.
Yep.
But what people don't realize, they're fantastic no matter if you have liquid stool going into the bag or formed stool. You can also use them like when they're swimming. You
Right.
can use them during intimate moments. There's just different options that these pouches will provide, that you don't have to be stuck with, quote unquote, just a drainable pouch when you're trying to do other things that you would prefer something that's closed ended.
Exactly. And to that point, I think another thing that a lot of people don't realize is if you order a 3-month supply, if you're able to through your supplier, you can mix and match. You can get a month's supply of closed-end pouches to use for those intimate moments or when you're swimming. And then you can get 2 months supply of your normal drainable pouches, just so you have that variety and you can just best fit your needs. And I think that's very important for people to know that. So if you haven't, reach out to your supplier and see if that's something that they can do for you. But most importantly, definitely reach out and try a sample to make sure that it works out well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the Meat Plus team can send them samples of any of these products that you would want to try. So you just let us know what you're looking for, and we'll have something that's going to match what you're doing. But a good question that I just thought of, Matt, is how are we securing these pouches to their skin?
Good
So we
point.
need to discuss with you for just a moment what a skin barrier is and how it's going to help you use these pouches and keep them on your skin. That's kind of important.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, it would be. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? The best way to start out, I guess, is to kind of explain what we mean when we say skin barrier.
Right.
And what I'm talking about, that is the sticky part of the pouch that would stick to your skin and hold everything in place so that the drainage can actually go in the bag where it's supposed to go. Now, drainage is, I'm referring to either stool or urine. So this is on both sets of styles of pouches that are for ostomates.
Exactly.
And I guess it's still, again, it's going to be a lifestyle choice.
Right.
Because
Of course.
just like the pouches in bags, there are various amounts of options and things to selection. There's a good selection of this. You want to start out talking about that one piece and how it's all kind of put together and how that skin barrier works on that one piece?
Yeah, sure. Obviously a one-piece system is, as Rene mentioned, the skin barrier and the pouch, they're just all together, hence the name one-piece system. So you're not going to be able to separate that pouch from the wafer. One thing that is important about a one-piece is you're probably going to get a little bit more flexibility out of it just because you don't have the connecting piece, or what we call the flange, on the skin barrier itself. Since it's all one piece, it's going to be a little bit more flexible, contour to your skin a little bit easier. So it's just going to be laying a little bit lower profile even. So I think that's one thing to mention about a one-piece system. But at the same time, we do have two-piece systems that have the skin barrier and the pouch separate. And I think they all have their place, and it's all about personal preference. And I think that's what's so important about talking about these products is you never know what's going to fit your lifestyle until you've tried it or thought about what's available. And so many people don't know what's out there and available, and this may be the first time they're hearing about a two-piece or a one-piece. So, going from there, I think what's important about a two-piece system is, anytime that you want to take that pouch off and leave that adhesive on, obviously that's a pretty, strenuous process of taking it off, clearing the adhesive off your skin and then reapplying it. If you ever want to just take that pouch off, replace it and put a new one on, you're able to do that with the two-piece system, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The skin barrier is there to protect the skin and protect the stoma. And you're going to get, obviously, stool or urine on the exact stoma itself. but the area around it needs to be protected. And that's what the skin barrier part of either a one piece or the two piece system is for. But
Right.
when people call me and stuff, I don't know, I'm sure you remember, there are so many different names for them. You know, they're called
Yeah.
skin barriers, they're
Yeah.
called flanges, they're called wafers,
Yeah.
they're called the patch.
Yeah.
You heard any other ones?
Plate. Plate. I hear that
Plate.
a
Oh,
lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
plate. Yep.
Yeah, I
Um,
think there's no end to names that people will think of. And it's so funny. I love hearing all the different ones. Not only do they have several different names for their wafers, you hear several people, they'll name their stoma as well.
oh,
So,
yeah.
you know, you got to decipher all those different things that they're throwing at you all at one time, which I love. I think that
Yes.
makes it kind of amazing.
Well, it helps them to accommodate their new lifestyle,
Right.
is when they just kind of accept it and say, okay, well, this is what we're going to call this. You know,
Right.
I had one caller want to name it George, and I said, well, that's my dad's name, so okay.
Right. I'll
But
roll
it
with it. We
worked.
can make
It
it
worked.
happen.
What? Hey, you know,
Love it.
it worked. I loved it too.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so now we've kind of touched on the fact that there's these different options, one
Yeah.
piece and two piece. Um, but remember, the two pieces like having the wafer in one hand, the pouch in the other hand, and then
Right.
you're attaching them together. The beauty of this is that with a two piece system, again, you've got tons of options on the style. You've got some that snap together, kind of like a Tupperware seal. You've got some that adhere together, kind of lay down on a landing zone, and the pouch would have an adhesive ring, just kind of lays down and sticks down onto that wafer. Very strong adhesive bond, and the wear time is comparable between the two.
Yeah, and that just reminds me, that would almost function very similar to a one-piece system because you're removing that
Exactly.
flange from the middle of the wafer and the pouch.
Yeah,
So you get more flexibility even out of a
yes.
two-piece system. So you kind of get best of both worlds.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then again, you've got that, what you were talking about with the closed-ended bag. You take that closed-ended bag off, clean up, and snap a new one on. You never had to take that adhesive off the skin. So that
Yeah.
was an excellent point that you made earlier. Very
Yeah,
important.
for sure. And that's just the different two-piece systems that we have available, the different types of connectors that they have available. But going a little bit deeper and talking about the variety of skin barriers that are available, it just never ends, it feels like. But
Yeah.
one I think that's important to start off with, obviously, is Convexity. It's available in a one-piece and a two-piece system. And one thing that we always love to do is have our nurses talk to you about it and find out what Convexity product may be best for you. So if maybe you could share a little bit about the point of Convexity and what its function is.
Oh, absolutely. Be happy to. Convexity is a skin barrier or a wafer. I love to call it a wafer. I don't know why, but that's my word for it. But what it does is it has a bowl shape to it instead of flat. So think of the flat wafer. My hand won't do flat. A flat wafer, if you set it down on a table, everything on that wafer that's sticky is going to stick down to that table.
Right.
Well, a convex product is one that sits up a little bit, kind of like a bowl shape up
Right.
off of the table. And what it does is that bowl shape presses into the skin and it supports the muscles around the stoma. So it gives the stoma the ability to have a better spout effect into the bag
Right.
and just a better seal around the base of the stoma. There are situations to where convexity works fantastic. There's situations where we don't recommend it. So that's why if you call in and you get one of our Me Plus product specialists on the phone, they're going to say, let me transfer you over to one of our Me Plus nurses
Right.
so that they can clarify your medical situation and make sure this is something that would be appropriate for you to sample. So just
Absolutely.
kind of bear with us through that process. We'll ask you some questions and then we'll probably just send out the sample of the convex products. A lot of the callers that I talk to, convexity seems to fix any issues that they may be
Really.
experiencing.
So that was the point I was going to make next, not to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
You know, if you're experiencing leakage, if you're listening to this right now, leakage is not normal. And I think that's a very important thing to point out. You know, so many people I hear, and it hurts to hear it, they'll leave the hospital and they'll be experiencing leakage from day one, and they think that's normal. Their nurse will come out and expect that to be normal. And that's just simply not the case. And to the point, Convexity is the solution for a lot of these situations. And it's just a matter of no education out there. So I think it's very important for people to call in to speak with our nurses like Rene, so we can assess what your situation is and figure out the best product for you. Because once again, living with leakage it can irritate your skin, and just the thought of having an adhesive sticking to irritated skin, it compounds and becomes even worse. So I think, if you're listening, once again, make sure you reach out if you are having leakage, because Convexity could be a product that works better for you, for sure.
Absolutely. And Matt mentioned that you could either have it in a one-piece system or a two-piece
Right.
system. And
Yeah.
there's various reasons why that is a choice. One of them, of course, is a lifestyle choice. Activity, your stoma size, your degree that your stoma is protruding out of your skin. All of this plays into the questions about convexity or a flat product.
Right.
But the good news about what we have now is that even with convexity, you got options.
You got
It
options.
will decide if you need a kind of a stiffer convexity for more support, or if you need just kind of a flexible, light, soft kind of convexity. And we've
Right.
even got something in between.
Right.
So we've got it in our system to where it adheres down to your skin. You still got the two pieces, but it adheres to each other instead of having the plastic ring flange in the middle. We've
Right.
got it again in the one piece in several different options. So we're
Absolutely.
here for you. So you
Yes.
just give us a call so we can help with that.
Absolutely. So it's crazy. That's just the beginning of the skin barriers that we have available. But going from there, one of the other ones, and probably my personal favorite, has to be the moldable wafer, which comes in a one piece or a two piece as well. And what's unique about that product is, if you've ever cut out a wafer or if you've ever cut out a one piece pouch, it's extremely difficult. I've cut out several, and it's not the easiest thing. It's very easy to damage the pouch. And if you're even using a pre-cut, we all know that stoma sizes fluctuate, and it's not always the best situation. You may have to trim it a little bit more. So Convatec does have the moldable, which once again is amazing. And how it works is you simply just put your thumbs in the center of it, roll it back, and once you put it on your stomach and then around your stoma, it gently hugs your stoma to give you a perfect fit. And I know that you explain this perfect to all your customers, and it kind of shrinks and contracts and adjusts with your stoma.
Yeah, it breathes with it.
Breathe with it. That's what it was.
Yeah. But it does, because what happens is it turtlenecks around the base of the stoma,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no gaps. But then when your stoma discharges, or if your activity level has increased the blood flow to the stoma, it has the potential to expand just a little bit. And that's
Right.
normal. But the good thing is that the wafer will mold out and roll out away from the stoma. It's still staying in contact, so it breathes with
Yeah.
it. Takes a deep breath, and then when the stoma relaxes, then the wafer lets out the air basically and just stays in contact with that stoma, so that you're not getting a chance that the skin around it gets exposed. And I
Right.
too am a huge moldable fan.
Right. I love it. And I've recommended to every customer I speak with, for sure. If you are interested, definitely reach out to the B Plus team. We can get you some samples.
Yep.
But going from there, before we overwhelm you with all the different products available, the next biggest one that I think we should definitely mention on the first video cast would be the Accordion Flange. And I know that you have a great explanation, so I'd love for you to share that.
Oh yeah, the accordion flange, I think, has married both of my favorite worlds, the moldable and the accordion, because we have it like that. So what the accordion does is, with up until now, our wafers have had a stationary plastic ring that snapped together. So you had to push down on the skin, and sometimes that skin is kind of tender, or it's kind of like really super soft, and it was hard to get that connection. So you had to kind of push really hard. Well, now we have the accordion where that plastic ring will actually lift up, and now you've got finger room up underneath that you can push
Yeah.
the pouch on instead
Yeah.
of having to press on your abdomen. Now, what is really cool about this is when you bring it up and you reach over to grab the pouch and come back, that flange is still standing up. So you still have that finger room. You don't have to go back and readjust that. You
Right.
snap that pouch on, and then you just kind of gently press down, nothing hard, and
Just
it'll
collapse
lock
back
back into
down.
place.
Yeah.
And even with weight on that pouch from discharge being inside the pouch, it does not unlock itself and hang out. So
Right.
you actually technically get like a millimeter or two slightly lower profile, is the word I was looking for, than what you would with a standard
two-piece
SureFit Natura
flange.
two-piece pouch. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I think that's awesome. You know, one thing that we run into almost every single day is someone dealing with dexterity issues that is trying to use a two-piece system. Maybe a two-piece makes the most sense for them because they get a longer wear time out of their wafer, and they want to have that, you know, ability to just change the pouch out. But it's really hard to press against a stomach that either has, you know, a hernia, you have, you know, a recent, you know, surgery in that area, where this really helps that person be able to use the two-piece system, have the best of both worlds, and then be able to just collapse it back down and not have any issues. So, you know, once again, that's another one of my favorite products. And even better, we have an Accordion moldable wafer. So you can have them both. So I definitely reach out and try one of those if you haven't yet.
Yeah. Now we even have it though, if people prefer, because some people do prefer still to take scissors and cut their products out and do the right size, just because it's just comfort level, shape, you know, a lot of different reasons. But we have that Accordion in the cut to fit.
Oh, true.
And we have it in the moldable, and we're going to have it in the moldable convex at some point in time. So again, ladies and gentlemen, you have options.
Absolutely.
We got you covered.
Absolutely. So I know we covered so much in this episode just about products, and we really just touched very shallow on what's available to you. So it's very important. You know, one thing I've always shared with my customers is if you're a new ostomate and you're coming out, you're just discharged and you don't know what you want to try, the one thing that I've always shared was think of it as if you had a pouch on your stomach and you were needing to change out the bag. If you ever wanted to change out the pouch without changing the adhesive, a two-piece system may make more sense for you. So where if you generally want to change everything together, a one-piece system may make the most sense for you. So that's just a very general entry-level way to think about it. Obviously, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to the Me Plus team. We have Rene, one of our amazing nurses, to speak with if you have any questions about convexity or any skin issues. But we're definitely here to talk to you about it and share all the knowledge that we have and we've learned from speaking with so many different customers over years.
And we just want to thank you guys for listening to us today. I hope that we've given you options that maybe you weren't aware of before. We know that you're going to call us if you do. And how you get in touch with us at the Me Plus team is our number here at Convatec is 1-800-422-8811. So please give us a call. Let us help any way we can. And we'll be happy again to send out complimentary samples, answer any questions, help any way we can.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on our very first video podcast. Rene, it's amazing to see you. It feels like it's been forever.
I know. Me too. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. Awesome. I'm excited to see you again soon to do the next one. Maybe dive a little bit more into products and then go from there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Well, this is Rene.
And this is Matt. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Me Plus Services and Care from Convatec brings you tools and advice to help make life with an ostomy completely your own. The products and support you need, the tips and advice you can learn to use, and a community you can grow with. Enroll in Me Plus today by calling 1-800-422-8811 or log on to mepluscare.com. That's mepluscare.com.